What's up, guys? Ross here, and today I have a very exciting video lesson. It's something that I think is pretty cool that's not talked about enough. How to know if a digital product or something that you are thinking about buying right now is the right fit for you. Okay, so here's why I've been inspired to write this. Recently, I removed myself from the Clickfunnels group. I don't associate myself as a funnel hacker, so to speak. And as time has gone on, I've actually started feeling like certain practices such as fake timers, fake scarcity, things that they teach and that they advocate for in those groups, one chapter ahead and all of that, is rather unethical. Now, you can debate me on this down below. Most of the people who want to debate the one chapter ahead are trying to teach something, but they're only one chapter ahead. And so I don't really entertain those debates very much. But I want to explain why I did that. Is it because I don't like Russell Brunson or I don't like ClickFunnels? And the answer is no. The answer is that I was able to disqualify myself as their ideal customer. You see, as I started to need certain features and functionalities out of a funnel, as I started to stress test things, it didn't fit what my needs were anymore. And I always use this illustration. Do you remember when, let's say, for instance, your favorite album came out when you were a kid? I remember there was this time where I was listening to a specific song. I think it was like Bop or something by the Handsoms. I was a little kid, and I just listened to it over and over and over again. And I was Bop deep dop for it was like, you know, I give my parents credit for not cutting my head off at that time, but it was nonstop. Anyways, after a while, you get sick of that album or that song, but they were one-hit wonders. They never really came out with anything else that continued to allow you to grow with that band. Now, on the other hand, the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I started listening to them as a kid, and they've continued to put out good stuff. Now, I'll admit their later guitar player, Josh Klinghoffer, wasn't my favorite, but they've continued to produce new music, so I continue to listen and follow their music, even if I have my favorite albums in the past. The reason I say that is you can outgrow a guru or outgrow somebody that you started following. At one point, I was the ideal customer for ClickFunnels. Let me show you what I mean. Let's go to their YouTube channel. When it comes to marketing, Russell Brunson is an amazing marketer. Who could deny that? I mean, .com secrets. I haven't read Traffic Secrets yet, and Expert Secrets. Some of these books have so much knowledge and truth in them as to how people buy. I don't deny that. Do I agree with all those practices? Absolutely not. But they are accurate, and so I won't deny that. But let's click on videos and see who does Russell Brunson speak to in his audience. For instance, it says here, join our free 5-day launch your course challenge. Who is that speaking to? Somebody who doesn't have a course yet, or maybe they've tried and they've failed, and somebody who still needs to launch, aka a beginner. How about this? These are so clickbaity that I have a hard time. This one, at least, I haven't even watched it. This one here, he's teaching his framework, but look at this. 5 steps to becoming an expert marketer. He's speaking to, once again, beginners. Why you have to fail. He's trying to relate to people who are failing. How to make $1 million quickly. He's speaking to broke people, people who don't have money. Let's see here. Not getting paid what you're worth as a blogger, speaking to broke people once again. If you keep going through, you start noticing he's got a lot of stuff here that is either very selfish, meaning wanting people to promote ClickFunnels, or he's got stuff where he's trying to teach beginners how to become experts. But the problem is that once you get to a specific level of expertise, there's very little that you can learn from him. That sounds bad, but it's the truth. There's very little that I can learn from him at this point. Does that mean that there's nothing I could learn from him? No, but it's not in his content. And personally, I've bought some of the other stuff, and the stuff that I purchased was the same stuff that was free, and it was just organized. And so I don't get involved with it anymore. If you're a beginner and you know nothing about marketing, you should go read as much of his stuff as possible. If you're a beginner, watch his content. You are going to learn a ton about marketing. I sure as heck did, and I give so much credit to that. I don't want to slap the spoon that fed me because I learned so much. But you outgrow people over time, and that's okay. Now, the problem that I have had, and this is just me being honest, is that I feel that, and keep in mind, this is just my opinion, that Clickfunnels, because he has Russell Brunson has a very MLM-y networks, whatever they call it, marketing background. Clickfunnels initially was designed to be kind of like an affiliate, not really an MLM because there's only so many tiers down, but just this big affiliate thing, kind of like an MLM structure, which there's nothing wrong with it, but that's what it was for. It was not designed to be like a solid software company. I'm building a software company now, and we put so much more focus on the software than we do right now the users, because we know we need to perfect the software before we can start really packing in the users. They kind of did it the backwards way. They got all these people into a duct tape software, and then they started having to fix things because it wasn't doing what they said they were going to do. And I don't see that that's ever going to change. Like, they're making little improvements to things here and there. But in my mind, they are a marketing company that happens to have a software, not a software company that happens to market. And you know what? Russell Brunson straight up says that it's not the product that makes you money. It's the marketing of the product. And that's true. But here's the problem with that. You can market a product and get them into it, and then if you're losing them, you're not making any money on the back end. And ClickFunnels is known for retention issues. And it's easy to understand why. They're speaking to broke people. So the people get on there thinking they're going to get rich. It's not their fault other than setting false expectations. The people don't get rich, and then they cancel the software. That's just the reality of how it is. And that's why they have such high, if you focus on people who are steady, already making a little bit of money. I have this saying, I like to make winners win more. I don't help losers win. Now, ClickFunnels has found their niche, with bottom feeders, and that's fine. And they're making their money off that. And if they found a way to make that profitable, then that's great. But there's a reason why they've looked into selling and didn't, because they can't right now. Way too built around Russell Brunson, and the retention is horrible. Anybody who ever becomes a level of an expert decides to leave them unless they have gotten so endorsed by Russell Brunson, such as, well, I won't start naming off people, but you got these two common members and people like that. They've made so much money off that community that they can't really turn their backs. In fact, sometimes you'll see some of them go to Infusionsoft, or now it's Keep or whatever, but yet they still kind of promote ClickFunnels, or they want to be in there. I don't want to be a hypocrite. So I left the group. I've left the community. And I don't see myself going back unless there was substantial changes to the software where I saw the software and I was like, oh my gosh, I got to have that. That's absolutely amazing. I am just no longer the ideal customer. Funnels is a scam. No. I think that there's, though, some changes that should be made just based off ethics. I think, one, they're a great marketing educational company, but some of the things they teach I think are shady. For instance, this one chapter ahead stuff. Even in the book, he references Frank Abagnale from the movie Catch Me If You Can, and says that he taught a semester of a class. And when they said, how did you do it? He said, I was only one chapter ahead. And he uses that almost to justify that you can be one chapter ahead. But we have to remember, Frank Abagnale was a con artist. He went to prison as a con artist. The problem is you've got the blind leading the blind. What they do is they go in there and they take somebody's information and they read it, they consume it, they regurgitate it, and they try to sell that. But then when people ask questions, they can't help. They can't add their own application. It's just diluted forms of garbage. I personally think that you should say, hey, you need to at least you need to be an expert in what it is. The secret to becoming an expert is to actually be an expert. So if you don't know anything about a marketing agency, don't teach marketing. There's a guy who made millions of dollars teaching handstands. Like, you can go, if your goal is that you want to have a course, you like the idea of digital products with low fulfillment, then do that. But sell something you're actually an expert in. That's the big key thing there for me. So they don't talk enough about how to make things ethical. Also, I just think that telling people something's closing down on every Sunday when in reality it's not, super shady. It's a lie. If you were staring into the eyes of God and he said, "Are you really closing it down on Sunday?" If not, you're considered a liar, and liars don't inherit the kingdom. What would you say? And if the answer is, no, I'm going to reopen it on Thursday or whatever, then you're a liar. That's just the reality of it. You're a liar. That little timer that goes on there, if it's not really ticking down to the end of something that's truly going to end, you're a liar. That's the reality of it. And I can't handle that sort of stuff. I don't want that in my business. I want to sleep good at night. And so that's why I've completely removed myself. And I give thanks to people like Tom Nash, CoffeeZilla, and Spencer Cornelia, because I was a part of where I was so deep into it that I didn't realize. I thought that these were normal things, that this was ethical, but I wasn't thinking for myself. When they start going on and exposing things and showing what people are doing, it made me, I was looking at stuff and I remember thinking to myself, at first I was justifying it, like, oh, they probably had a bad experience. Oh, they were broke. Then the more I started thinking about it, I'm like, no, they're right. People are just straight up lying. And I had to be honest with myself. I had timers. That's a lie. I would say something I would say something was going to close and then I would just change it a little bit. But it was still and if you really think about it, it's deceiving people. And it's not a good feeling, and I'm done with it. You've probably seen these posts that I've been making where I'm saying I'm sorry for endorsing things in the past that, maybe really shouldn't have endorsed. Like, I didn't put much thought into the endorsements. And I'm going to be making my next video. You got to watch it. It's about being careful about leaving a testimonial in what you say. Guys, if you've enjoyed this video, please do me a favor, subscribe on the link below. I appreciate you guys and have a great day.